US warships. At least some of the ballistic missiles that China's People's Liberation Army fired into the South China Sea during an exercise earlier this year. Wang Xiangsua, a retired People's Liberation Army (PLA) officer, had said that one DF-26B intermediate-range ballistic missile (IRBM) and one DF-21D medium-range ballistic missile (MRBM) had struck the target vessel as it sailed near the Paracel Island chain during the exercise. Wang, who has been described as well-connected in the past, is best known as one of the co-authors of the 1999 book Unrestricted Warfare, which covered various asymmetric means to undermine and defeat countries that were technologically superior to China. We launched the DF-21 and DF-26, and the missiles hit a vessel sailing south of the Paracel Islands, Wang said during a closed-door gathering in China's eastern Zhejiang province. Shortly after that, an American military attaché in Geneva, Switzerland complained and said it would lead to severe consequences if the missiles hit an American aircraft carrier. They see this as a show of force. But we are doing this because of their provocation. Wang does not appear to have given any details about the target ship, its construction, how fast it might have been moving, or how the PLA may have cued the missiles their target. It remains unclear exactly how many missiles the PLA fired during the exercise. South China Morning Post's initial report had indicated that two weapons had been launched, one DF-26B and one DF-21D, from sites in China's northwestern Qinghai province and in Zhejiang, respectively. Subsequent report from Reuters said that the U.S. government had assessed that the Chinese had fired 4 ballistic missiles. In total, the Department of Defense is concerned about the People's Republic of China (PRC) recent decision to conduct military exercises, including the firing of ballistic missiles, around the Paracel Islands in the South China Sea. The statement did not say anything about how many missiles the Chinese had fired in total or what types they had employed in the drill. The DF-26B and the DF-21D are both understood to have maneuvering re-entry vehicles capable at least of hitting large ships, such as aircraft carriers or large amphibious assault ships. DF-21D has a maximum range in excess of 932 miles (1,500 kilometers), according to the Pentagon, while DF-26 series missiles can reportedly strike targets out to 2,500 miles. The longer-range DF-26 is nicknamed the Guam Express or Guam Killer, a reference to the strategic U.S. island territory in the Western Pacific, which is home to major air and naval bases, but the B model with its maneuverable warhead also often gets referred to as a carrier killer missile, as well. Guam would be an important target for Chinese forces during any large-scale conflict. It's worth noting the PLA has been launching ballistic missiles at generally ship-sized and shaped fixed targets in the Gobi Desert since at least 2013. However, this did not necessarily reflect an ability to hit moving targets at sea. In fact, some of these flat silhouettes were part of larger target arrays that were clearly arranged to reflect ships in port at American bases in Japan or Taiwanese naval facilities. The Chinese had also fired DF-26s from the western portion of the country into the South China Sea in a similar exercise. China's new and very capable Type 055 destroyers, as well as long-range maritime patrol and surveillance aircraft, could help find enemy fleets and relay that targeting information to missile units. China also has a steady expanding fleet of unmanned aircraft, including increasingly advanced high-altitude, long-endurance types, which could also be used in this role. In the South China Sea, the PLA may further be able to make use of any fixed long-range sensors on its man-made island outposts, which includes aerostats. The Chinese government has also been expanded its space-based sensor capabilities in recent years. The maneuvering re-entry vehicles themselves likely have some form of guidance, such as a radar or imaging infrared seeker, to zero in on their targets in the terminal phase of flight, as well. The CM-401, a short-range anti-ship ballistic missile that China is developing, notably features a radar seeker for terminal guidance, though it's not clear if that's its only guidance option. Regardless, if the PLA can now reliably engage large warships using long-range ballistic missiles, this would represent a major additional anti-access area denial capability, in general, but especially in the South China Sea. As noted, the DF-26B was reportedly fired from Qinghai, well inside China proper, which provides an extra layer of protection to the launching unit from preemptive or counter-strikes.
Even being able to launch DF-21D missiles at ships from bases in eastern China would offer those units added survivability. This is all on top of the immense flexibility that ground-based ballistic missiles could offer in the anti-ship role simply by being able to engage targets across a very broad area without necessarily having to relocate first. At the same time, the DF-21D and DF-26 are both road mobile and could be repositioned to be closer to the target area in order to shorten the time it might take for the weapon to get there, an important consideration for engaging even slow-moving ships, as well as any other time-sensitive and fleeting targets.